I'm really thinking Harper. I think he would be a fantastic number 3 hitter
What?
right in front of Betts.
Of course he would be. Are you kidding me?
And I know that 198 batting average scares the heck out of people.
Not me.
But at the same time, that OBP at 317 means that he's just not putting the ball in play well. Like,
Welcome to yet another broadcast Yeah, exactly. Corona Quarantine Baseball coming at you live. I've dug out the official Bull League hat. Although the giveaway right now is not for the hat, it's for the Vladdy Guerrero Jr. card that you've already won, Scott. But I will have more hats to give away. All right, and welcome to the Bull Baseball League for our next broadcast. It is Sim Night. It's Friday, May the 13th. Friday the 13th. Spooky here in the 2022 season. And we are 2 days away from the draft pool announcement. If you've been on tonight on the Slack channels and you've seen the post or you follow our Twitter, you'll see that we've put out a blog article on the anticipated top draft choices for the 2022 amateur draft. So have a look-see, have a read through. Hopefully I'm 90% correct on what the draft pool and the game thinks are the top draft choices, but I took a look at the feeder leagues, the college and high school leagues, and looked at the top players by OSA rankings, and I suspect that I'm pretty close. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the draft. That'll be after the end of the sim. We're here to welcome a new GM, Ben, who will be taking over the California titles. He's from Southern California, and so that's the team he wanted, and it's good because the team actually needs a GM. They haven't had a human general manager for at least a couple of seasons. The last guy came, didn't do much, he left. So that's what happens sometimes with these leagues. But anyway, hopefully Ben's here to stay, and he's already hooked up in Slack. We've got him all ready to load the game in, and after tonight's sim, he should be able to export. So welcome again, Ben. All right, so we're going to get going. As you can see, the standings are on the screen. That's where we left off at our last sim. New York on top of the Lake League East, Chicago on top of the Lake League West, St. Pete's and Nevada on top of the Metro East and West. And some pretty close divisions except for the Metro League West, where the Cowboys are quickly falling way behind. They did have a really rough start to the year. I think they were 0-8 or 0-9 or something. Meanwhile, the Speeders had a fantastic start to the year. Scott Dumler's Nevada Speeders were basically, I think they only lost 1 or 2 games in their first 15. So that's a pretty good start. That said, I think there's some dark horses about. I think Minneapolis is poised to overtake the Lake League West. I think my Nomads have shown some improvement and might be vying for going above 500 in a division that hardly any of the teams have been above 500. So I could displace the New York Dragons if things go my way. However, I'll just show you who I'm. Whoops, that's New York. I'll show you who I'm up against this sim, and I believe it is Nevada. So Nevada is going to run right through Toronto and probably demolish us in these 3 games. So I was able to take 2 away from Arizona. They blanked me in game 3, but I suspect I'll suffer a sweep here at the hands of Nevada. I don't think Knuckles Malone is pitching in the next 3 games. He just pitched. Castaneda, Dalton, and Medina are due up to pitch, and Medina's been doing really, really brutally. Actually, he's the pitcher tomorrow. Dalton will be pitching against Jim Koch on the Sunday game, and Medina's been doing terribly. So I suspect this will be a brutal game. All right. So anyway, we are giving away another Vladdy Guerrero Jr. card. So get your tickets. It's !raffle to join, and get your ticket, and then we will give another one away, and hopefully I'll get a chance to actually mail them soon. I do want to get some card sleeves, which would be helpful to protect those cards as they make their way through their bubble wrap envelopes in the mail to you guys. Whoever the next winner is. Congrats again, Scott, for winning the last one. I also wanted to congratulate or thank the last 2 followers to join since our last broadcast. JLip Tweets joined or followed 2 hours ago. And yesterday, someone named Addie Barlow followed. So thanks for the follows. We're up to 43 followers. And we're just 7 away now from the magic 50, which would put us at, eligible for affiliate. All right, so let's get the sim underway. Do the imports. I think we had 9 teams export according to Stats Plus, so we'll get those files now. Troy is exported again, so thanks again, Troy. Jesse. See Scott, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, yeah, and all these tournament teams, which I think half of those tournament teams are going to disappear after the off season. We're going to rearrange the tournaments. All right, so the only teams not to export today were Miami and Ohio. So Dylan, hope your lines are set. Hopefully we don't have any DFAs to worry about. I'll check them now. Oh, we're good in the DFA front, so we don't have to worry about players designated for assignment. 44 followers. Oh, maybe I can't count. You know what's throwing me off is the miscalculated status bar at the top of the screen. It says 43. So we're actually at 44. That's great. So yeah, 6 away from the Magic 50, and I'm hoping to hit that goal by May 1st, if all goes well. All right, so on the schedule, we have all of our teams in action for the continuation of the 2 weeks, or the 2 series, rather, of interleague games. We've got Arizona at Montreal, Seattle at New York, Nevada at Toronto, St. Pete's at Ohio, California at Boston, Miami at Chicago, and Calgary at Milwaukee, Washington at Minneapolis. So a lot of good matchups here. I think for game 1, I'm going to do Nevada at Toronto. I haven't done a Toronto game in a while, and I always like to see my team lose to Nevada. But in all seriousness, Alex Fonseca, 4-0 on the season, up against one of my moderately decent pitchers, Jose Castaneda. Castaneda's been subject of some trade discussions, so it's sort of a good preview for the interested parties to see how he pitches, especially against a solid offensive team like the Speeders. So game 1 will be the Speeders at the Nomads, and I think we'll get to see the Nomads home team, my 3D stadium that I did, GTA Gun Safety Stadium. And for game 2, we should be able to get to game 2. I could probably decide afterwards, but maybe Washington at Minneapolis could be a good one. California at Boston, maybe, because we've got Ben who just took over California. So he hasn't exported yet, but he'll get to see his team in action, start to learn his players' names. Against Boston, we haven't done too many Boston games, so that might be a good one for game 2. Ooh, is Rodriguez back? We'll have to keep an eye on that. Rodriguez, of course, you're talking about Ricky Rodriguez, right? The pitcher for Minneapolis. Yeah, there he is. He was injured during the spring training. Is that right, Jason? And so yeah, if he was injured during spring training, and it looks like he did some rehab games in AAA. Wow, was he injured last year? Now I got to look. Yeah, 12-month injury to the right elbow, May last year. Now he's back in action. Rick Rod, a 4-time Sandy Koufax winner. So hopefully his rehab went well. He is prone to injuries now. He's listed as fragile. He is 33, but he's an outstanding pitcher. and he was having a decent season last year until he was injured. Kitagawa, yeah, Kitagawa, yeah, he's injured too, isn't he? All right, so we'll get this first game rolling. Welcome and thanks for joining us once again. Live with 6 viewers as we work our way through May and towards our draft pool announcement. And shortly after the draft pool announcement, I will put the draft pool on Stats Plus so you guys can start plugging in your draft lists. I'm not sure when we'll start the draft yet, but I at least want to get the names in there and start getting it all set up. All right, and the all-important save the game. I did do a backup before this game started, so that's done at least. All right, so Scott Dumler's Nevada Speeders are coming to Toronto to play my Nomads, and as you can see, I have an AI manager, Bill. I think it's Bill Kelly. Dumler's one of the other few GMs to actually have an AI manager as well. So anyway, this should be interesting. We basically just GM only. As you can see from the matchups, this lineup is heavily slanted towards Nevada, with the pitching matchup for some reason slanted towards Toronto, except that I would dispute that given that Fonseca is having an outstanding season. But anyway, Danny Sanchez leading it off for the Speeders. The shortstop is hitting up a tear again. He's a perennial he's a perennial batting leader, and although I don't think he's in the top 5 this season. There's been years where he's won the championship. I'm pretty sure. Check his batting stats. Yeah, he had two good seasons, and there's some back there. For some reason, the leaders aren't highlighted in red for some of the seasons previous to 2018. Some glitch with OTP, but he was the batting champ 2 consecutive seasons, 2019 and 2020, and I believe he's close. He's in the top 10. He may not be in the top 5 this year, but he's having a good year again this year. And as you can see, he lights up Castaneda 2 for 3. It's a small sample size, but he's had no trouble hitting off of Castaneda in his 3 appearances that he's been up against him. Nate Kavanagh batting second, the second baseman. TK Yang, third base, batting third. Yin, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. 1, 2, 3, the former Ohio Oxen first baseman. He also has Castaneda's number, 6 for 11, with a home run. He is batting fifth. Chitoji Yamada, the left fielder, batting sixth. Jim Leahy, the DH, batting in the 7th spot. Georges Henry, the center fielder, batting 8th. And batting 9th, Jim Griffiths, the catcher. As I mentioned before, Alex Fonseca on the mound for the Speeders, 4-0 this season in 6 games, a 3.82 ERA and a 1.47 WHIP. It's a little high, but to be honest, Castaneda is not that great either. What's more interesting is 7.6 Ks per 9, which is fairly decent. So I would say actually these pitchers are fairly evenly matched, but Fonseca's having more success with the Nevada offense behind him. For my Nomads, I have Joseph Walker batting leadoff with Rich Dillon, the DH, batting second. Walker at one time was one of my top hitters. He's still he's going to be over 300. Last year he was injured. He was batting 245, but he's been around 290 or 300 pretty much every season I've had him, which is now 6 full seasons, I believe. His first season wasn't too great, but 280, 299, 293, and then 305 this year. So he's had some fantastic success as a leadoff hitter, and he's pretty quick, which is what I like. Gets on base, and he's fast. Mike Ryba, one of my few power hitters, batting third. Nick Yagislav, also one of my few power hitters. Both of those players with 8 home runs. He'll be batting cleanup. Hot shot rookie shortstop Sam Idiols. He's batting 5th. Brian Chambliss, first baseman, batting 6th. Trey Sarazen, my catcher, is not the greatest hitter, but he sure has a decent arm, and I like defensive catchers. I actually select a very defense-heavy. Jeff, you'll appreciate this. I select a very defense-heavy roster to begin with, but especially the catcher position. Ken Peterson, my center fielder, batting 8th, and what's his name again? Dong Kyun Flipper Kim, the second baseman, batting 9th. Castaneda with a 3-2 record, 5.03 ERA, and a 1.56 WHIP. He's very much similar profile to Fonseca. We are at GTAGunsafety.com stadium in front of 40,295 fans under clear skies and 62 degrees with the wind blowing out to left at 18 miles an hour. And here we go. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. Is my field big? I do tend to skew towards a bigger field. I don't know if you can tell from this camera angle, but yeah, I do tend to have a low home run ratio for my park. And here we are at GTAGunsafety.com field. Danny Sanchez leading off for Nevada. Castaneda on the mound for Toronto. And let's get rolling. And I see that the raffle is closed, so hopefully we got enough people with tickets in there. If not, I can restart it. We're going to start off with a 2-1 count for Danny Sanchez. And he smokes it up the middle, but the shortstop, Idials, has it. The throw to Chambliss is on the money, and he is retired. Nate Kavanaugh, the next batter. The 0-1 delivery from Castaneda. And it's a dribbler back to the mound, but for some reason the catcher is going to come out and get it. And the throw to first is in time. TK Yang is up to the plate. 2 away. 1-2 pitch from Castaneda. It's swung on. It's driven back. It's a home run. Yang with a solo shot, 440 feet over the left center gap wall into the bleachers there, into the outfield stands. Double-decker outfield, actually. It's a pretty nice stadium. Fits a lot of people. Yeah, it's a big foul territory. Part of that is the camera angle, though. It's really zoomed in here, so you can't really see what's. It's not as big as you might think. It's mostly camera angle. If I'd put the camera further back, because I neglected to cut away the roof on this 3D stadium, all you'd see is roof. So unfortunately, and then be no field to see. I mean, it is a fairly sizable foul area. But nothing. It's the biggest foul area you can put, I think, on the OOTP Utilities site. If you go to OOTP Utilities and create a field there, they have different options for foul territory. When you render the biggest size into a 3D stadium, this is basically what it looks like. All right, Yang Yin, the next batter. 2-1 pitch to Yin. On the ground up the middle into center field. Base hit for Yin. And Castaneda's given up 2 consecutive hits. 1, 2, 3, the batter. And, looks like they caught him off the base on a pickoff move. And that's it. Innings over. Nevada with a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first. On the bump for Nevada, Alex Fonseca. Leading off is Joseph Fish Walker from Norfolk County, Ontario. Ground ball to third. Long throw is on the money to first. And he's retired. Rich Dillon, the next batter. Here's the wind up, the delivery. Bouncer up the middle. Caught by the second baseman. Kavanaugh makes the throw to 1, 2, 3. Out number 2. Mike Ryba, the next batter. Full count to Ryba. And it's driven into right field. It'll drop in for a base hit. Nick Yagoslav, the next batter. 2-0 pitch. And it's off the end of the bat softly back to Fonseca, who throws the first to end it. So Toronto strands a runner, and we'll go to the top of the second. We'll check those out-of-town scorers as we get here. 1-0 is the score in Boston as they lead California in the bottom of the first. No scoring yet as Arizona is in Montreal. No scoring in New York for the Seattle-New York game. And the Ohio Oxen with a 1-0 lead over St. Pete's. They're going into the second. And Miami-Chicago will start in less than an hour, along with Milwaukee-Calgary and Minneapolis-Washington. And yeah, I don't know that there's any other camera angles here. Home plate view. Yeah, there's no other camera views, so you can't get you can't really get an impression of the rest of the stadium. Maybe if I hide top area during game action, I don't know if that's going to do anything. All right. Anyway, Chitoji Yamada, the batter, as Castaneda retired, I think it was 1, 2, 3 on strikes. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to second. The throw to first is on the money. Jim Leahy, the next batter. Swung on, line drive to the gap in left field, back to the Adidas ad, and it looks like a double for Mr. Leahy. With 2 outs. See if that does anything. George Henry, the center fielder, he's up to the plate. He's been on a bit of a hot streak lately, batting .268 on the season. 1-0 pitch, high fly ball to center, but it's fading fast, and in to get it is Peterson, who grabs it to retire him. Out number 3, Speeder's still ahead, 1-0. Alex Fonseca against Sam Idiels, the shortstop. The rookie, Sam Idiels. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on that 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Brian Chambliss, the next batter. Swung on, and off the end of the bat, it's slicing to right field, but getting there is Yin, who reels it in. And Alex Fonseca will now face Trey Sarrazin, the catcher. It's the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on a cut fastball, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. Top of the third, the Speeders are up again. Jim Griffiths, their catcher, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Sanchez and Kavanaugh. 3-1 pitch, and Griffiths goes deep, but not deep enough to center. One away for Danny Sanchez as we return to the top of the Speeders' batting order. The full count. Sanchez, inside pitch, half swing, and it is a check swing. So ball 4, draws the walk. Sanchez, a very good eye at the plate, draws a lot of walks. He led the league in walks in 2019 and 2020, and he's well on his way to a high number of walks again this season. So he's a guy that gets on base a lot. And that's basically why the Speeders like him at the front of the lineup. Nate Kavanaugh, the next batter. Sanchez at first, a threat to steal. Ground ball up the middle into center field. Sanchez will go for third. The throw is late on the slide. Sanchez is safe. Runners on the corners with just 1 out as Kavanaugh gets a single that moves Sanchez 2 bases. And here's TK Yang, ground ball to short. It gets past Idiels. Sanchez comes home. Kavanaugh's at third. sliding, and he's out. What a throw from, I believe that was Peterson, to get Kavanaugh at third. Sanchez still scores, making it 2-0, but at least the lead runner is removed, and TK Yang, not a very fast guy. Yang Yin, the next guy up to the plate. He's 1 for 1 today, and he hits another sizzler over the fence, a 2-run shot. Could have been a 3-run shot, though, and Nevada is up 4-0 on that 419-foot home run. Kenny Peterson's arm couldn't save that run there, but he did erase Kavanaugh off the base paths, so it could have been 5-0. 1-2-3 the next batter. 3-1 pitch to 2-3. He draws a walk, and this inning is extended for another batter. Chitoji Yamada is up to the plate. He's got a pop in his swing, 6 home runs this season. Full count. There goes the runner. Ground ball to third, the throw to first. Chambliss puts the glove on it to retire him. But the Speeders get 2 more as we go to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless for Toronto. Kenny Peterson will lead it off. He'll be followed by Dong-Kyun Kim and Joey Walker. Peterson batting .304 in the season. Pops this one up to the infield. Looks like the shortstop's in to get it. Sanchez puts the grab on it. Dong-Kyun Kim up to the plate. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Fonseca. Hit hard and straight away to center. It's going back to the wall. A double easily for Kim. He slides into second and he's there. So with 1 away, Toronto now has a runner in scoring position. Joey Walker up to the plate. Could be the guy to drive him in. 0-1 pitch. Inside, the ball gets away from the catcher, and that's going to have Kim go to third. As Griffith chases that a mile to the backstop. Full count to Walker. And it's up in the air to left field. Kim has to tag up. He decides he's going to stay close to third. 2 away for Rich Dillon, who's been nursing an injury. I believe it was an oblique strain. Let me just double check that. Nope, knee tendonitis, which is only a minimal bother to him as a DH. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, hit hard, gets past the third baseman. That's going to score a run from third as Kim cashes in. And Dillon with an RBI single to left has put Toronto up ahead on the scoreboard, so only behind 4-1. Mike Ryba, the next batter. Off the end of the bat, but the second baseman has it. Kavanaugh makes a clean grab and throws to first, and that ends it. But the Nomads get a run on the board. 4-1 for the Speeders. We'll go to the top of the fourth, check those scores from around the league. And Boston's still up on California 1-0. It's a one-hitter, and they're in the bottom of the fourth. Montreal with a one-run lead over Arizona. It's 3-2. Bottom of the fourth as well. Bottom of the fourth for New York. They're against Seattle. Ohio has extended their lead 3-0 over St. Pete's. It looks like Jonas Reyes on the mound for St. Pete's now. They're in the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the first now for Chicago and Miami. There's no scoring yet. And no scoring in Milwaukee as Calgary comes into town to visit. They're in the bottom of the first. Washington with a hit in the top of the first against Minneapolis. But with 2 outs and a runner on second, we'll see what happens there when we check back a little bit later. Top of the fourth, Jim Leahy to lead it off for Nevada. He slaps one on the ground to third. The throw to first is on the money. 1 away for Georges Henry. Georges Henry was I believe he was a first round draft pick. not too long ago. He's ranked 5th currently in the Metro League with home runs. He's got 10 this season. And he slams a high one to center, but it's going to drop off the table, and Peterson's going to grab it on the grass, and there's 2 outs. Jim Griffiths, the batter. Here's the 3-0 pitch inside for ball 4. And Sanchez is up with a runner on base and 2 outs. Signed as a free agent back in January 2021. And he draws another walk, his 2nd of the game, 39th on the season. Castaneda has trouble locating right now. 4 walks he's given up so far this game, 25 on the season. Here's the first pitch to Kavanaugh. Hit hard, deep to center, but getting there's Peterson, who makes the grab to end it, and stranding 2 for the Speeders. However, Nevada still with a 4-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Nick Yagislav, the batter. He's going to lead it off for the Nomads. 8 home runs on the season. That is tied for the team lead with Mike Ryba, and he slices one to right field. It's on the track, but not deep enough as Yin makes the grab. Just in front of the visiting bullpen there. 1, 2, 3. Nope, never mind. Sam Idiels, the batter. The 0-2 pitch from Fonseca. And it's swung on. It's driven deep to center. It's past the center fielder, Henry. And it's to the fence. A double for Idiels. A much-needed double as Brian Chambliss, who's got a little bit of power to his swing, steps up to the plate. 1 away. Ground ball to short. Idiels will be held at second as Chambliss is retired at first on the throw. 2 away for Trey Sarazen. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. And it's a dribbler back to the mound. The throw to first is on target. And that's going to end it. Nomads strand 1 on a hit. And we'll go to the 5th. TK Yang to lead it off for the Nomads. For the Speeders. Home run earlier today is 2 for 2. Swung on, line drive. Oh, it's caught by Yagislav, who, with his impressive reach, was able to grab that before it did too much damage. Yang retired on a liner. Yang Yin up to the plate. Batting from the left. Here's the pitch from Castaneda. He makes a long drive to right. It's back to the fence. This could go for 3. Yin's hustling. He's hustling, and he's coming around into third base. There's the throw, but it's going to be late. And a triple for Yin. With 1 out. 1, 2, 3 at the plate. And 2-3 can get some extra base hits as well when he needs to. Castaneda has given up 7 hits and 4 walks today, working 81 pitches here in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch, ground ball to short. They're not going to be able to prevent the run, but they get an out. 2-3 is retired. Yin crosses the plate for run number 5 for the Speeders. Shitoji Yamada up to the plate. And the Speeders are just adding run after run here. It's 1-1 pitch. Yamada swings. It's deep to center, but fading, and Peterson grabs it for the out. But the Speeders get another one on the scoreboard. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Toronto has had some difficulty answering the onslaught of runs here. Kenny Peterson checks into the plate. He draws a walk on a 93-mile-an-hour cut fastball that misses wide. Dong Kyun Kim is up to the plate with the leadoff runner aboard first. The sort of situation Toronto needs to take advantage of. And it looked like they had a hit and run going. A long fly ball back to the track. Peterson had to retreat to first to tag up, and he's not going to be able to do it. Georges Henry made the grab, and he's got a pretty solid arm. So 1 away for Joseph Walker. Inside pitch, ground ball to third. They might get 2, and they do. Walker grounding into a double play as he sends it to TK Yang, who relays it to Kavanaugh and then to 2-3 to complete the double play. Oscar Cardenas is going to come in to pitch for Toronto as we say goodbye to Castaneda. Cardenas, 12 innings this season so far. He's given up 19 hits and 9 walks. He's really struggled himself on the mound. Jim Leahy, the next batter. He'll lead it off in the 6th. We're just going to check those scores again as we are in an even-numbered inning. Still 3-0 for Boston. California just has the 1 hit on the board. They're in the bottom of the 5th. 4-3 score in Montreal over Arizona. They're in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 is the score in New York over Seattle. Nobody really cares. There's no human GMs, but they're in the 6th. Ohio with a 5-0 lead over St. Pete's. So finally finding some power and some run scoring, I would say. Just a 3-hitter there working for Morales for Ohio. Still no score in the Miami-Chicago game. They're in the bottom of the 3rd. No scoring for Calgary and Milwaukee. And it's 1-0 for the Ravens over Washington. They're in the bottom of the 2nd with 2 outs and bases loaded. After a Takaki Takahashi single, Lanching Su is 1 for 1 today with an RBI. He's up to the plate. Grossett's on the mound for Washington. Back in action here in Toronto. Full count to Jim Leahy from Cardenas. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the 88-mile-an-hour slider. George Henry up to the plate. 0-1 pitch. Slaps one on the ground to second. The relay to Chambliss is on target. Jim Griffiths, the batter. 2 away. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Cardenas. Grounded to short. Ideals in the pocket. Makes the throw, and that'll send Nevada down in order. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Rich Dillon as we approach the meaty part of the Toronto batting order. He's 1 for 2 today with the ribby. Drove in the only run that Toronto has so far. See how Rich Dillon does. As a leadoff, he grounds to third. The throw to first is on target, and he is out. Full count pitch to Ryba. Inside, ball 4. That changeup missed. Ryba, probably not a threat to steal, although he can get the odd base here and there. Nick Yagislav will try to drive him in the old-fashioned way with a home run or extra bases. A high, deep drive to left, but getting there is Yamada, who makes the grab. Ryba, still at first. 2 away now for Sam Ideals. 295 on the season, 835 OPS. He draws a walk. That'll improve his OPS. And bring up Brian Chambliss, who is actually taken on because of his ability to hit home runs. He's second on the team in homers right now with 6. Slicing that one off to right, but it's going to fade and drop short. It is caught, and that is out, number 3. So Toronto stranding 2 runners again. And we'll go to the top of the 7th. Danny Sanchez leading it off for the Speeders. So hitless, but he's drawn his 3rd walk of the game on this as Cardenas misses on the full count pitch. Sanchez really knows how to work a count and tire the pitchers out. He can steal. He hasn't yet today. Kavanaugh swings. High fly ball to right. And Ryba should have it. Tries to throw Sanchez, keep him honest. Tries to throw him out at first, but Sanchez saw it coming. TK Yang is up to the plate. He's gone 2 for 3 today with a home run. Grounds to short. The throw to second is on the money, and they complete the double play to end it. So Nevada stranding one as we go to the stretch. Time to crack open another beer. I'm fresh out, so you have to drink one for me. Sportsnet, the Fan 590 ad out in right field, our local radio station. The ads didn't render too well on the wall there. It's really tough. The 3D software I use is really tough. You got to reverse paint things, and it's complicated. But anyway, all right, and here we are, bottom of the 7th. Toronto's next up to the plate with Sarazen, Peterson, and Kim. Trey having some difficulty getting hits today. He's not really known as a big hitter. Decent enough eye to draw the odd walk, but see if he gets one here in the full count. And he does. So the leadoff runner's aboard. Trey Sarazen not a threat to steal. Kenny Peterson up to the plate. See if he can drive in some runs or get something going. Ground ball to first. And it looks like 2-3 bobbles it. An infield hit for Peterson, or did that score as an error? It scores as an error on Nevada. So Peterson reaching on the error. Sarazen at second. So the first two runners are aboard. Two batters are aboard for Toronto for Dong Kyun Kim, who has a hit today. And he hits one hard to second. They're going to turn the double play here, but they get a runner at third now. That took some of the wind out of the sails for Toronto, but they have another chance here, and they could still score a run with a solid hit to the outfield from Walker. And that's exactly what almost happened. Oh, the hit to the pocket, but no throw from shortstop as Sanchez fields it, but doesn't get a chance to throw. Walker with an infield single, and that's going to drive in the runner from third, which was Trey Sarazen. So it's 5-2 now for Nevada. Rich Dillon up to the plate for Toronto. Tying run on deck, but with 2 outs. That's a bit of a hopeful, wishful thinking, and he swings and misses and strikes out on that 83-mile-an-hour changeup. Toronto not scoring enough runs at a fast enough pace here. We're in the top of the 8th, and Nevada is up to the plate. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and it is time to check the out-of-town scores, so I'll just have another quick look. Oh, it looks like Cardenas was injured on the play. Swinging at a pitch. Wow. Or, sorry, casting a pitch. Yeah, he's throwing a pitch. He's come out of the game, and he's injured. So we'll have to get back to him on that. His first strikeout of the game, too. And it seems to have injured him. Well, anyway, we'll check on him after the game. Let's have a look at the out-of-town scores. 7-1 is the score in Boston as California finally on the scoreboard, but Boston really ramping up the run generation. They're in the 7th. Still 4-3 in Montreal over Arizona. They're in the top of the 8th. 2-0 still in New York against Seattle. 6-0 now for the Ohio Oxen over the St. Pete's Admirals. A few more hits for the Admirals, but just 4 compared to Ohio's 10. It's all tied up 2-2 in Chicago as Miami is not letting the Pit Bulls get away with an easy win like they've had against some of the other Metro League teams. And the score in Milwaukee still scoreless. Minneapolis Ravens are up 4-0 over Washington. It's a 2-hitter there for the Minneapolis Ravens. Ricky Rodriguez making his debut after an injury last year. So he's having a stellar game against the Freedom. Looks like Jamie Calabrese is going to come in to pitch for Toronto. He is 0-3 on the season with 32 hits allowed, 20 earned runs, 20 walks, and just 13 Ks. Not the Calabrese that the Nomads saw as a minor leaguer, but he still has some time to develop. A 2-2 pitch from Calabrese to Juan 2-3 with one away. It's hit hard on the ground to third, but getting there in time is Yagislav. He makes the throw to Chambliss, and that is two away. Chitoji Yamada, the next batter. Calabrese kicks and delivers. Swung on, grounded to Idiels at short. The throw to first is in time, and that'll retire him. So Nevada goes down in order. Toronto has to replace an injured pitcher, and we go to the bottom of the eighth. Yu Sui Ju is pitching for Nevada after a fantastic outing from Alex Fonseca to get through 7 innings, only allowing 2 runs from Toronto. Mike Ryba will lead it off for the Nomads. He's 1 for 2 today. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss on that slider. Strike 3. Ju sits him down. Ju with 8 strikeouts on the season in 12 innings. Nick Yagislav, the next batter. And he gets a ground ball to short. It's going to be played cleanly by Sanchez. And he's quickly retired. Sam Idiels, the next batter. The 0-2 count. Swung on, hard hit, drive to center. It's off the wall. He's coming around, and this is his second double of the game. It may be too little too late, but Idiels is having a fantastic rookie year. I believe it's his rookie year. Double check that. Indeed, it is. He's still technically a rookie. He only did 40 games last year, so I believe he still qualifies as a rookie. Brian Chambliss with Idiels at second, 2 away. 3-1 pitch, sliced into right field. Idiels might come in to score as it's still in the corner. An RBI double for Chambliss. Yin really had to dig that one out of the corner. It's 5-3 now as Toronto gets another one on there. But the tying run is at the plate in the form of Trey Sarazen, who can homer. He homered earlier this season. And he hits one hard on the ground to second. It's a misplay, and it's missed at first. Chambliss comes in to score on the throwing error, and Sarazen takes second. That's 2 errors for Nate Kavanaugh today at second base, and it's a 1-run ball game all of a sudden. Kenny Peterson is the next batter, and Toronto has made a game of it, taking advantage of some miscues by Nevada. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Peterson. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3, but 2 runs on 2 base hits and an error have brought the Toronto Nomads to within 1 run of the Speeders. We go to the top of the 9th. Damian Hines on the mound for Toronto in an attempt to stop any further run scoring out of the Speeders. And Jim Leahy's at the plate for Nevada. Here's a 2-1 pitch from Hines. Hines can reach triple digits on his fastball. And indeed, he hits the triple digits there on a 198 mile an hour fastball, so just short. It's a fly ball to center, however, and Leahy is out. Georges Henry, the next batter. Here's the pitch, ground ball to second. It's bobbled as it came at Kim pretty hard, and Henry is aboard. That'll score as an error for Toronto, no doubt. Jim Griffiths, the next batter, with 1 away. Runner at first. Hines, the 1-1 pitch. High fly ball. Lots of room, though, for the left fielder Walker to put the grab on it. The throw to the cutoff will make sure that Henry stays honest. And Henry goes for a steal. He's thrown out. That ends the ninth as he made an attempt with 2 outs, an inexplicable attempt at a stolen base with 2 outs. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Toronto will be up against Kane Morris, the Nevada closer, who's been fairly successful. He's 2-1 in his win-loss record with a 1.26 ERA, 22 strikeouts in 14 1/3 innings, and just 2 walks, 5 hits, and 2 earned runs. So having a fantastic season, Kane Morris. I'm not sure how many saves he has. It's he's got 7 already. He's only blown 1. Kim at the plate for Toronto with a fly to shallow right that's fielded cleanly by Nate Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh with 2 errors today. They should probably take his platinum glove away. Joe Walker at the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch with 1 away. Hit hard. It's a line drive to left. It drops in for a base hit. Walker won't get 2 out of it, though, as the left fielder Yamada, solid arm, and he's on it very quickly. Looks like Aaron Johnson's come in to play defense, by the way, for Nevada at shortstop, replacing Sanchez. Rich Dillon with 1 on and 1 out. The 0-1 pitch from Morris. Ground ball to short. The throw to second gets 1, and they get 2, and that ends the ball game. So Toronto launches a comeback, but it's not enough as they fall to the Nevada Speeders 5-4 in 9 innings. So a good attempt at Toronto to try to eke their way back into the game, but Kane Morris shut them down. And the win does indeed go to Alex Fonseca, his 5th of the season. And the loss goes to Jose Castaneda. He goes to 3-3 on the season. Kane Morris with save number 8. The player of the game was Yang Yin. And I suspect it was for that 2-run home run? 3 for 4 with a home run and a triple. So had an outstanding game. The Speeders advanced to 27-7 on the season, and the Nomads fall to 17-20. We'll check the injury to my middle reliever Cardenas, and it looks like just an oblique strain. So he should be fine. And I forgot to get the Stats Plus going. So let me just take a second to do that. So you guys get the game updates in Slack. If you're not watching the game, then you'll see the Slack updates. But you should be watching the game. If you're not watching OOTP Developments, their stream right now on Twitch, then you should be watching this one. And really, you should be watching this one. All right, so you should see some Slack updates in a minute. The finals around the league, Montreal beats Arizona 7-3. Looks like Ohio hangs on to blank the Admirals 6-0. Morales with his 2nd win of the season gets player of the game nod. Boston wins their game against California 9-4. 16 hits for the Brawlers. Minneapolis edges Washington 6-5. Rodriguez with his 1st win of the season, but it looks like he let up a few runs there in the 6th. That hurt his ERA quite a bit. And Miami with the win over Chicago. A rare win for the Storm, who are in last place in their division, and a rare loss for the Pit Bulls, who are in 1st in theirs. And 2-0 was the score for Milwaukee over Calgary, and 2-0 for New York over Seattle. So some great games. Yeah, I would love it if OTP rated us. I think they've got 20 or 30 viewers right now. I'm not on their channel. Obviously, I'm on ours. Yeah. After this game, I want to raid somebody. Who should I raid? Is Sporer up and running? What's going on with what's going on around the leagues? Who else is streaming? Spores got the show. We could raid Skep. Jeff, that would make you happy. I think they're doing Out of the Park 21, and they're doing mostly perfect team stuff, but that's always interesting. All right, game 2. Whew, boy. What did I say? Who did I say was a good candidate for game 2? All right. Vote 1. Oh, I think it was going to be California and Boston anyway. So never mind the vote. But speaking of votes and contests, let me post the winner right now for the. Oh, are you telling? There's only one. Oh, I'm going to reopen the entries for the giveaway for the Vladdy Guerrero Jr. card. And I don't know where the cards went, so I can't show you what it is, but it's a Topps baseball card from the Topps Now collection from last year, commemorating Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s first and second MLB home runs on May 14th, 2019. So Jeff was our only entrant, so I've reopened the balloting. You can feel free to type in !raffle and grab a ticket for that raffle. I want to give another one of those cards away. All right. So yeah, I believe California and Boston was going to be our next game. And so that's what we'll do. We'll manage California and Boston. And this will give a good chance for our new GM, Ben, to see his team if he's watching. Ben, are you watching? If you're watching, type something in the chat. And of course, we haven't seen much of Jesse Donahue, but Jesse, you'll get another look at your team. And the California titles will have Angel Payan, the DH, leading off. He'll be followed by Peyton May, Raul Vasquez, the right fielder, Hiroki Omiya, the cleanup hitter, their catcher, who is Ryan Skog, J.D. Lappin, the third baseman. I believe it's Forbes Peddle, the left fielder, batting 7th. Francisco Aguilar, the shortstop, batting 8th, and John Seals, the center fielder, batting 9th. On the mound for California, Phil Shanks, the 34-year-old left-hander. He is 1 for 3 this season with a 7 ERA and a 185 WHIP. Oh my God, he must be there only because they've got no one else. Orlando Rios at his usual spot at the top of the Boston order. He'll be followed up by some fella by the name of Josh Ostrom. Zhongming Gang, the third baseman, batting 3rd. Pedro Rosario, the DH, batting 4th. He's got 8 home runs this season. Frank Erickson, the shortstop, batting 5th. Jonathan Bradley, left fielder, playing in right field today. He's in the number 6 hole. Number 7 is Cesar Hernandez, the shortstop, playing second base. And Doug Uzo, the catcher, batting 8th. Manabu Shiba, the second baseman, playing first base, batting 9th. Sincere Gilmore, 7 games into the season. He's 2 and 3 with a 5.59 ERA and a 1.53 WHIP. Marginally better than Phil Shanks. Yeah, Jesse's exporting at least, but yeah, we don't hear much from him from in the Slack channels. But hopefully he catches the rebroadcast of these games. All right, we're in Constitution Stadium in front of 34,263 fans. It's partly cloudy and 54 degrees. And oh boy, this doesn't look that great. Most of the foul territory has been painted black. Yeah, there's some glitches still with this stadium that need to be fixed. But anyway, this is Constitution Stadium. And Angel Payan will lead it off for California. Sincere Gilmore on the stand for Boston. It's this magical black dirt they have in Boston. Because you can see it at the track too. And we're going to start off with a full count to Angel Payan. We'll see how he makes out here. He's got a great eye. And he swings and hits right into the glove of first baseman Manabu Shiba. Peyton May, the next batter. Big hit to left, but lots of room for the left fielder. Ostrom makes the grab. Yeah, they won't be falling off the earth. It's just black dirt. Yeah, again, the 3D rendering didn't color the grass in those parts of the field properly. So I'm going to reopen it in SketchUp and fix that. Raul Vasquez up to the plate. Swung on, high drive, fly ball to center. Caught by Rios, and that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for the titles. And we go to the bottom of the first. Phil Shanks on the mound for California. Orlando Rios, 386 on the season, 1,000 OPS. Does a pretty decent job of getting on base. He'll start off with a full count, and he's got a hitting streak of 10 games going, so he'll want to hit today as he draws a walk. Josh Ostrom, the next batter. 1-1 pitch, ground ball to short, no throw. Infield single for Ostrom, moves Rios to second. Zongming Gang, the batter. He's hitting .288 on the season, .261 at home. Here's a 2-2 count. Ground ball to third, the throw to second. They get one, but they don't get Gang at first, so just 1 out on that play as Ostrom is removed. Pedro Rosario, the next batter. 8 home runs on the season. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3. 87-mile-an-hour forkball. Frank Erickson, the next batter. The first pitch to Erickson. Ground ball back to the mound. A run comes in to score as the infield is hamstrung on what to do, and it looked a little bit like sandlot baseball there as nobody made a decision. So 1 run on the board for Boston as Rios cashes in. Zongming Gang at second, Erickson at first. That'll bring up Jonathan Bradley to the plate. And he draws a walk. So with 2 outs and bases loaded now, it's Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman. Full count pitch. Draws a walk, and Shanks has walked in a run and made it 2-0 for Boston. Doug Yuso, the next batter. Erickson at third, Bradley at second, Hernandez at first. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball back to Shanks. Makes the throw to first, and that ends it. But Boston gets a run, and 2 runs actually. One of them on a walk. It's a 2-0 game as we go to the top of the second. We'll check the out-of-town scores. And Nevada with a 1-0 lead in Toronto. Alex Medina on the mound for the Nomads. 2 runners on for the Speeders. They're in the top of the first with 1 out. 3-2's the score so far in Montreal as Arizona has a lead. No scoring yet in New York against Seattle. And Ohio with another lead over St. Pete's. They just seem to have the Admirals' number this season, at least so far. It is early. It's the bottom second, but St. Pete's hitless after 2 innings at bat. No scoring yet in the other matches. They start in just under an hour. Chicago is playing Miami again. Calgary still in Milwaukee, and Washington is in Minnesota. Hiroki Omiya, the batter, first baseman. Hits it hard to left field, but getting there is Ostrom, who makes the catch. Just in front of the warehouse in left field. Ryan Skog, the batter. 1-0 pitch from the lefty Gilmore. Ground ball to third. The throw to first is on the money. J.D. Lappin with 2 out. 1-2 pitch. And soft contact to short. And the throw to first is on target. Manabu Shiba to lead it off in the bottom of the second for Boston. Shanks on the mound still for California. In one inning, he's allowed 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. And yeah, he can't really blame the defense for the 3 walks, I suspect. 1-1 pitch to Shiba. Hit hard, and it's a line drive into the right field corner. This is going to be good for 2 as Shiba rounds first and checks into second. Vasquez had to go all the way to the corner for that one. And Manabu Shiba at second on a leadoff double. Orlando Rios, the next batter. Full count to Rios. Inside pitch, ball 4. Draws the walk. Josh Ostrom, the batter. He's 1 for 1 today. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Just past the shortstop, Aguilar. And that's going to bring in Shiba to score from second. Rios moves to second now. Ostrom with a single, an RBI single. 3-0 on the board for the Brawlers. Zhong Ming Gang, the batter, with no outs, 2 runners on. And he swings at an inside pitch. It's in front of the plate. Safe at first. They're going to call that a hit or a fielder's choice. Looks like, yeah, they get the runner at second, so we'll go with a fielder's choice. No chance of getting Rios, who moves to third, and there's 1 out on the board now with runners in the corners for Pedro Rosario. Full count. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That's strikeout number 2 of the game for Phil Shanks. And with 2 away, Frank Erickson's the next batter. And he swings on an outside pitch, a terrible pitch to swing at, but he committed. And that'll end the inning. Boston gets another one as we go to the top of the third. Forbes Petal, the batter now for California. Hit hard and deep to right. It's carrying, and it's gone. Petal with home run number 3 on the season has put California on the scoreboard. And that one was nearly into the Charles River. And that is that blue that you see back there. It's supposed to be the Charles River. Francisco Aguilar. A leadoff home run from Petal. He's up to the plate. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And we welcome 7 viewers now to our little stream. The 2-1 pitch grounded to third. The throw to first is on the money. And that's 2 away here in the top of the third. Angel Payan, the DH, with a 2-2 count from Gilmore. And a changeup, 87 miles an hour, gets him, 81 rather. That ends the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Still a couple minutes left in our giveaway. Enter the raffle by typing in !raffle. Raffle's closed. And I'll pick a winner after the game. All right, Jonathan Bradley is up to the plate for Boston, bottom of the third. Actually, since the game's only in the third inning, I'm going to reopen that raffle. 1 second. There we go. Jonathan Bradley, the batter, bottom of the third. Shanks on the mound for California, and he hits this one hard to center. It's back to the track. Getting there is the center fielder, Seals, who makes the catch. Out number 1. Seals, an award-winning center fielder. Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman. And it's a pop fly to foul territory. Omiya makes the grab. Doug Yuso up to the plate with 2 away. 1-2 pitch. Slices one into left field. It drops in for a base hit. Yuso's first hit of the game, 11th on the season. And that's going to bring in Edwin Betancourt for California. A triple-digit velo guy who's 0-1 in the season with a 21 ERA so far, 7 earned runs in 3 innings. This could be good for Boston, or it could be bad, depending on whether he's shaping up his season now, Betancourt. Sheba up to the plate for Boston, 3-1 pitch with Yuso at first. Draws a walk. And with that free pass, Orlando Rios, as we go back to the top of the Brawlers order. 2-2 pitch to Orlando, a dribbler back to the mound. Betancourt makes the throw to first to end the inning, and 2 runners are stranded here in the third. But it's still 3-1 for the Boston Brawlers. We'll go to the top of the fourth and check those scores around the league. 6-1 is the score in Toronto as the Speeders are once again piling on the runs over the Nomads. It is 4-3 for Montreal as they've taken a lead now against Arizona. 3-1's the score in New York over Seattle. St. Pete's with some runs on the board, but not enough so far as Ohio holds a 7-3 run in the top of the fourth. Still scoreless in Chicago. They're in the bottom of the first. They just got underway. And also just underway is Milwaukee-Calgary. And a 4-1 lead for the Washington Freedom as Jeff's Freedom have struggled to get some wins. And the Ravens have been on a tear. But it is still early. It's the bottom of the first. The Ravens have 2 on and no out. Back in action here in Boston. Peyton May to lead it off for the Titles. 358. He's a former Detroit Motorheads player, and I believe he had a batting title a couple times in the Lake League. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Ground ball. Makes it past the third baseman, Zhongming Gang, and pokes its way into left field. It's a leadoff single for May. Raul Vasquez will follow him to the plate. Swing and a miss on the 1-2 pitch. Gets him on a 87-mile-an-hour slider. Hiroki Omiya from Japan was a international free agent a couple seasons ago. The 0-1 pitch. Hit hard to right, but it's going to fade, I think, and getting under it is Bradley, who makes the catch. That'll have Peyton May retreating to first. And Ryan Skog up to the plate. With a full count, grounds this one to first, and looks like Gilmore covers the bag to grab the throw. Sheba a little bit far away from the bag, I suppose. And anyway, that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Boston still holding a 3-1 lead. They're going to send Ostrom, Gang, and Rosario up to the plate in this inning. Betancourt still on the mound for California. And he gives up a free pass to Ostrom, who is 2 for 2 on the game with an RBI. Zhongming Gang follows him up. Ostrom with some speed. Swing and a miss, strike 3 in the full count pitch. 98 miles an hour on the radar gun. Pedro Rosario next. Here's the pitch. Deep drive to center. It's back. It's against the wall of the building in left field, the warehouse. A 2-run shot for Pedro Rosario off the building, and that is a home run. And just for clarity, I believe you can't see it with the score graphics in the way, but there is a line on the building where anything below that is the wall, and it must have been above that line. 5-1 for the Brawlers, 431-foot home run for Pedro Rosario. Frank Erickson, the batter. Full count from Betancourt. Inside fastball, but it's called a strike as it hits the inside third of the strike zone. Jonathan Bradley up to the plate now with 2 away. 0-2 pitch. And an outside pitch gets him. Just catches the corner. And he sits him down. Sincere Gilmore back on the mound for Boston here in the top of the fifth. J.D. Lappin will lead it off. Gilmore having a heck of an outing. 2 hits allowed, no walks. He struck out 3 and has only allowed 1 earned run. The 1-1 pitch to J.D. Lappin. Ground ball back to Gilmore. Throw to first is in time and retires him. Forbes Peddle will follow him to the plate. Full count to Peddle. Swung on. Ground ball to second. Hernandez makes the grab. Throws to Shiba, and that is 2 away. Francisco Aguilar up to the plate. The shortstop been on a bit of a hot streak. He's batting .538 on the season. 14 hits and 26 at-bats, but he's 0 for 1 today. Gilmore winds up, kicks and delivers. Ground ball to third. Here's the throw from Gang to Shiba, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 inning for the titles as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Boston with a 4-run lead. And you are watching the second game of our doubleheader stream on Twitch as Hernandez grounds back to the pitcher. Hernandez makes the throw and retires him. Sorry, Betancourt makes the throw and retires him. Doug Yuso, the next batter. Full count to Yuso. Swung on, a deep drive to center. It's carrying, and it's a home run. Back to the, there's a scoreboard behind the graphics there. So he's basically at the base of the scoreboard, just over the low wall where you can see the yellow wall there. And it's a 438-footer. Brawlers extend their lead to 6-1 on a Doug Yuso solo shot. And maybe that snowflake will be erased from next to his name there on the graphics. Manabu Shiba up to the plate with 1 away. Betancourt has now given up, I think, 2 home runs. 3 earned runs anyway. Fly out to shallow right as Vasquez makes the grab. Orlando Rios with 2 out is now up to the plate. The 0-2 pitch, called strike 3, and a rare strikeout on Rios. Ends the inning, but it's 6-1 for the Boston Brawlers as we go to the top of the 6th. We'll check those out-of-town scores. 12-2 is the score in Toronto as Nevada has basically floored it. The Speeders are racing circles around the Nomads. 10-run lead there in the top of the 5th. 4-3 is the score in Montreal. Arizona just a run behind. They're in the top of the 7th. 3-1 is the score in New York over Seattle. And still 7-3 for the Ohio Oxen over the St. Pete's Admirals. They're in the bottom of the 6th. Looks like Ego is on the mound for St. Pete's. He's done 4 1/3 innings. I'm wondering if there's a pitcher injury there, and that's why the score got run up so early. 3-1's the score for Chicago over Miami. They're in the bottom of the 3rd. And 3-1 is the score also in Milwaukee over Calgary. 7-1 for the Washington Freedom as they are taking out some revenge on the Minneapolis Ravens. They're in the top of the 3rd with 2 outs. The last play was Danny Buccio striking out, but looks like they've had some fun running some scores up there. Glenn Reese 2 for 2 today with a double and a triple, 2 RBIs. Back in action here in Boston. A full count to John Seals. And how do I feel about a 12-2 loss if that ends up being the score and doesn't look like Nevada's going to stop scoring, so it'll probably go higher than that? Well, if you're going to lose a game, it doesn't really matter how high the score is. That's why I don't put a lot of stock in ERAs. But you got to win more games than you lose, regardless of how big the scores are against you when you're losing. Seals draws a walk to lead it off here in the 6th. Angel Payen next batter up. Ground ball to short. Throw to second, but no relay. Seals is out on the force. Peyton May, the next batter, is 1 for 2 today. The 2-1 pitch. Down the line to third, but getting it is the third baseman, Zhongming Gang, who initiates a double play. And now we're back to Boston, bottom of the sixth. Josh Ostrom to lead it off. He'll be followed by Gang and Pedro Rosario. And the first pitch plunks Ostrom. He gets a free pass. Kurt Bond comes in to pitch now, as that pretty much spells the end of Betancourt. And Ostrom with some wheels, a threat to steal, leadoff runner aboard, and Zhongming Gang at the plate. A one pitch, a liner to left, drops in. It's going to be a single for sure, and Ostrom holds up at second. Pedro Rosario up to the plate now. Boston looking to score some more insurance runs if they can. Full count. Called strike 3 on a 74-mile-an-hour cutter. One down, Erickson up to the plate. 3-1 pitch. And he draws a walk on a cutter that misses. Kurt Bond seems to be favoring that cut fastball. Jonathan Bradley, the next batter, with bases loaded and one out. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, a high fly ball. This is going to be an infield fly rule, I suspect. Aguilar makes the catch. And the batter's automatically out. Cesar Hernandez up to the plate with 2 away and bases loaded. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. It makes it past the shortstop, Aguilar, and to center field. They get 1 run in, but the second one fails to score, and that ends the inning. So Boston makes it 7-1, but Zhongming Gang, trying for home from second, is out on the tag. And we go to the 7th. Raul Vasquez to lead it off for the titles. Hard hit drive to center. Getting there is the center fielder, Rios, who makes a diving catch for out number 1. Fantastic play. Vasquez could have had extra bases there. Hiroki Omiya up to the plate. And here's the 0-1 pitch from Gilmore. Swung on. High pop-up. Should be playable for Yuso. And it looks like Shiba gets it. Ryan Skog, the batter. 2 down, the top of the 7th. Full count. Swung on and misses on that 88-mile-an-hour cutter. And it's stretch time once again here in Boston. I don't care if we ever get back, and it's root for the Boston Brawlers. All right, we've heard that game already. That song already. All right, Doug Yuso up to the plate for Boston. Kurt Bond still on the mound for the titles. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2 pitch to Doug Yuso, who's 2 for 3 today with a home run. Having a fantastic game. Opposite field fly ball. Shallow left. Peddle makes the grab. And that'll bring up Shiba, the first baseman. The 0-2 pitch to Shiba. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a 91-mile-an-hour cutter. Orlando Rios now up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. I believe he had a walk, though. Full count to Rios. He draws a walk here. And with 2 out, Josh Ostrom is up to the plate with Rios at first. Full count to Ostrom. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the inside cutter. And we'll go to the 8th. California is going to try and make up some of this 6-run... That's awesome. Yeah, California's going to try and make up some of the 6-run deficit. J.D. Lappin, the third baseman, is up to the plate. Gilmore still pitching strong for Boston. Ground ball to first. Gilmore covers the bag and takes the throw from Shiba for out number 1. Forbes Peddle, the next batter, who homered for the only run of the game for California. 3-1 pitch, inside pitch for ball 4. Gilmore misses. Gilmore, 97 pitches on the game. That's his second walk allowed. In 7 1/3 innings, Francisco Aguilar with a runner at first and 1 away. And the first pitch to Aguilar, swung on, ground ball to third. It makes it through the hole at between Zongming Gang's legs, threading the needle into the left field. John Seals, the batter. 2 aboard, 1 away. 1-0 pitch. Line drive up the middle, but getting there is the center fielder Rios to make the grab. The runner's going to go for it from second to third, and he is safe. Peddle with a headfirst slide. Rios with a solid arm. That's a daring move by Peddle, but California needs to put a man closer to the home plate to have a chance at eating up this deficit here. Angel Payan, the batter, with 2 away, runners in the corners now. And he's plunked. That'll load the bases. Gilmore with his first hit batsman of the game. May even be his first of the season. Peyton May up to the plate. He had a hit earlier in the game. It's 1 for 3 though on the season, or on the game. 360 is his average on the season. And with bases loaded, 3-1 pitch, he draws a walk, and Sincere Gilmore has given California their second run, and he did it the easy way for California. They've walked one in. 7-2 is the score now. Raul Vasquez, the batter. It's 300 on the season. It's 0 for 3 today. The defense shifting left for the pull hitter Vasquez. 2-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball to short, right in the pocket. The throw to second is on the money, and that ends it. But California gets a run thanks to a Brawlers bases loaded walk. Gilmore's third walk of the game. Zongming Gang will lead it off for Boston in the bottom of the 8th. Kurt Bond still on the bump for the titles. Full count pitch to Gang. Hit hard on the ground to third base, but getting there is Lappin, who makes the throw to first for out number 1. Pedro Rosario, the DH in the cleanup role, had a home run earlier today as well. 1-1 pitch, swung on. A bouncer up the middle into center field, and he'll be safe at first on a single to shallow center. No chance of taking 2 there. Daniel Abate is going to come in to pitch as we say goodbye to the last California titles pitcher, whose name escapes me right now. Frank Erickson at the plate. 1 away and 1 runner on. 1-2 pitch to Erickson. Hit hard to right to second base. The relay to the shortstop covering the bag, and the throw to first will end it on a double play. The score remains 7-2 Brawlers. Go to the top of the 9th. And I'm not sure if I checked the scores in the 8th, but I'll check them now. Oh, an obliteration of epic proportions as Nevada has scored 19 runs to Toronto's 3. They have not taken their foot off the gas in that one. 22 hits for the Speeders, 6 for Toronto. A dreadful outing. Home run by Nick Yagoslav, but wow, it's a slaughter. 3-1's the score in New York as they're ahead of Seattle. 10-7's the score in Ohio as the Oxen have definitely kept a lead and kept pace with the Admirals. 9-1's the score in Chicago as they have an 8-run lead over the Miami Storm. All tied up in Milwaukee. They're in the top of the 8th. It's 3-3 over with Calgary. And the Washington Freedom 7-2 in the 7th inning over Minneapolis. A badly needed win for the Freedom, perhaps, unless we see a Ravens comeback. We have a final in Montreal as they've doubled up on the Arizona Cowboys 10-5. TK Yang 3 for 5 today with a home run and 5 RBIs. Juan 2-3, 4 for 5 with 3 doubles. And 3 RBIs. Danny Sanchez 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and an RBI. It's all Nevada players at the top performers list. The top 5 players are all Nevada players. And back to the action here in Boston for the top of the 9th. Hiroki Omiya, the batter for California, with 5 runs to make up, and I'm not going to do it that way with a fly out to left field. Woodford making the catch. Ryan Skog, the batter. 3-2 pitch, and he goes to left field as well, and looks like Woodford's ranging over to grab it, which he does. 2 away. J.D. Lappin could be the last batter here for California. The 1-2 pitch swung on, and looks like it's Woodford's again. It's going to drop in, though, in front of him. He takes it on a hop as Lappin singles to left. Forbes pedal as the inning is extended slightly longer. He's up to the plate. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to second. The throw to first will end the inning, and that's the ball game here in Boston. 7-2 is the final over the Titles. And outstanding game. Thanks for joining us for game number 2 of our doubleheader. As you can see, the line score, Titles had 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Boston Brawlers improving to 17-21 on the season. They had 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. And it looks like the winning pitcher of the day was Sincere Gilmore, who pitched a 9-inning complete game and improves to 3-3 on the season. His game score 72 is pretty decent. 4 strikeouts, just 3 walks and 4 hits allowed, along with 2 earned runs. His ERA falls to 4.91 on the season, which is in line with the league average. Phil Shanks falls to 1-4 on the season. He just pitched 2 2/3 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Betancourt came in, gave up 4 more, and it was all downhill after that. Sincere Gilmore is the player of the game for his complete game performance. And we were in front of 34,263 fans. Time of the game was 3:35. We're going to announce that winning ticket now. And there's only 2 tickets entered, and it's Jeff. Jeff is the winner. Congratulations, Jeff, who has won a Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Tops Now home run commemorative card. And that will probably have to get sent with your hat, which I haven't sent yet. So when you get your official Bull League cap, hopefully soon, I'm able to get that one. And then you'll be grabbing that as well. All right. So congrats again to all the winners. Looks like Peyton Bint came out as the top performance of the day. He ended up with 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, in a 15-3 win over Miami. So looks like Chicago really ramped up the scoring there. They had 5 runs in the third, but they added another 7 runs through the rest of the game. So 15-3 was the final in Chicago over the Miami Storm. It'd be nice if we saw some more exports there out of Dustin. 7-5 was the final in Minneapolis. Washington Freedom get their 13th win on the season. The Ravens fall to 23-15. St. Pete's Admirals fall to the Ohio Oxen 10-7. Martinez with his 3rd win of the season. And Milwaukee with a loss to Calgary 8-3. Dragons beat the Salt 6-1. The earlier games were the other game that we're missing was 10-5 was the win for Montreal over Arizona. What was the final in my game? Oh yeah, 21-7. Wow. Well, at least they got 4 more runs in the bottom of the 9th. But Alex Medina with his 3rd loss of the season, a dreadful game. Jim Leahy with player of the game honors. He had one of the top performance for Nevada, 5 for 6 with a triple, 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Outstanding games. Thanks again to everyone for joining us. And the draft pool announcement takes place today. I don't know if it hit the news yet. Let's see. Whoa! Cardenas with a career-ending injury. I guess he came back to pitch today, and that was it. He's done. The 24-year-old will never play baseball again. And we'll just take a quick look at his brief career. And this is a bit of a shocker because I just got him in a trade with Chicago April 4th at the beginning of the season. And I can't remember who else was in that trade. Let's have a look here. Traded by Chicago in exchange for Ashley Lum. So it was a 1-for-1 trade. He had a couple trades back in February too. Hot commodity reliever. I had some promise for him, but a career-ending injury relating to a mild oblique strain. That's crazy. Oh, it's got to be the injury too. Torn labrum. That'll be it. Yeah, the torn labrum did it on 34 pitches. And so his career ends after a very, very brief period, 3 seasons of pro baseball at the top level, a number of years in the minors, but 3 seasons at the major league level, and no more Oscar Carrenas. The Curaçaoan will go back to Willemstad and open a baseball school. Damn, 4-star potential pitcher too. Well, looks like I might be in the market for some more relievers. All right. So let's finish today and get that draft pool in. And there it is. The draft pool is revealed. And Jake Maloney, RJ Northeast, Jay Palangan. Oh, I remember him. Atsushi Yamato. Yeah, he was in the article I wrote. Fernando Pagan, Phil Labie, Kin Ryu. Yeah, he was another one in my article I posted. Matthew Nogues, Tomas Rosales, and Scott Fitzpatrick. So those are the top 10 players in no particular order who have hit the draft pool. Of course, the draft does occur 45 game days from now in June. It is actually June 8th on the game schedule. And it'll be outstanding. All right. I'm still shocked about the Cardenas injury. So what do I usually do? Oh yeah, standings. So we'll do the standings after our second of the 2 interleague series, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll come back to normal series playing within the leagues for the Thursday night sim. New York Dragons still on top of the Lake League East after 2 wins in this last set. They're 20-15. The Nomads, with 3 straight losses, have fallen to 4.5 games behind. They are tied with Boston. 17-21 is their record. Montreal Metros are also 4.5 games behind, a different way. 16-20 is their record. So it's a pretty tight race in the East. It's an even tighter race at the top 3 spots in the Lake League West. Chicago still with the lead and still half a game ahead of the Ravens. But the Ohio Oxen on an incredible 5-game winning streak. They are 20-16. They've now crept to within 2.5 games of first place. And with Craig Gnarly still at the top of the batting leaderboard with a .441 average, they're sitting okay. I'd say Ohio could use some better pitching, but they're managing some wins there. 5 of them in a row has put them within a playoff spot if the playoffs were to start right now. Over in the Metro League, we've got the St. Pete's Admirals coming off of 2 losses to Ohio. I believe it was Ohio. And the Calgary Inferno. Wait, do we have another game today? Oh, we've got another game today. What am I ending this for? We're not ending this. We've got one more game to sim. All right. And then we can do the old updates. I almost started doing the league file too. All right, and the last game of tonight's 3-game sim looks like we have Montreal Metros beating the Arizona Cowboys 11-9, a 10-2 win for the Speeders as they sweep Toronto, which is what I suspected was going to happen. Boston with a 1-run loss, 5-4 is the score there. California pulls out ahead, 2 runs in the top of the ninth. Boston tried to come back, didn't make it all the way. Ohio squeaks out another win over the Admirals, 7-6. It went to extra innings. Rusty Rowe with the win. Salazar with the loss. Looks like a couple home runs on each side. Omar Medina and Bill Clark for St. Pete's. Yunus Halal and Matt Gibson for Ohio. Gibson with his 4th on the season. So a very close game there. Washington falls to the Ravens 9-2. Looks like Dominguez on a tear with his 6th win of the season. He's doing fantastically. 12-7 was the final for Chicago over Miami. So I think Miami had one of those 3 games, but Chicago wins the series. And 5-0 was the score for Calgary over Milwaukee. And no human GMs own any teams in New York or Seattle, but the final was Seattle Salts 8, New York Dragons 2. And yes, it was a sweep for the Ohio Oxen over the St. Pete's Admirals. All right, now we can end this. We'll move the game date to Monday. Means we'll have some players of the week to announce as well. And as I mentioned, the draft pool, I'll export it tonight, put it into Stats Plus, and open up the draft. I don't know if I have to set a date yet for the draft to start. We do like to start it early, but I want to give you guys a chance to actually put draft lists together. So we'll see how it works. Now we'll check those standings. So yeah, still New York on top of the Lake League East. The Montreal Metros have pulled to 2nd place. Nomads and Brawlers tied for 3rd. The Pitbulls still on top in the West. The Ravens still half a game behind. Ohio Oxen 2.5 behind as all 3 teams have won. The Oxen finding it tough to pull closer when the 2 teams ahead of them keep winning. Milwaukee Hops fall to 16-21. They're in last place in that division, but surprisingly not doing too terribly. I mean, Toronto and Boston only have 1 more win than them. St. Pete's Admirals still on top of their division despite the three losses to Ohio. 22-17 is their record. They're 3.5 ahead of Calgary. The Miami Storm and Washington Freedom are falling further behind, but not quite as far behind as Arizona is to Nevada. The Speeders, 29-7. They're the only team not to have double-digit losses still. 29-7. They're 7.5 ahead of Seattle. California Titles, 14.5 behind with a 15-22 record. And Arizona Cowboys in last place with the worst record in the leagues, in both leagues, 12-27. Not surprising considering the start they had. But they're 1-9 in the last 10, and that's not helping them. All right, so that completes our sim tonight. That was 3 games. My apologies. Almost went off half-cocked there and ended it early. Let's see if there's any other shocking news. No other shocking news other than Dusty Hurts suffering a setback for California. Just traded this season from St. Pete's, and he's already injured. Yin is the top player of the week for Nevada, who got most of his hits and at-bats, no doubt, against Toronto, his runs and RBIs against Toronto this week. And the other top player is none other than John Rambo of the Chicago Pitbulls, who had a .560 average on the week with 6 home runs. So he's really starting to heat up. He did have 77 home runs last season, led the league in average and RBIs as well, 206 RBIs. And wow. Trade. Oh, yes. Thank you for the reminder, the trade that was posted. I almost forgot about that. Thanks, Brandon. So yeah, there was a trade that Brandon and I agreed to. And it was St. Pete's sending me Abruzzo and Tony Jones in exchange for Jose Figueroa. And because he's a AAA guy and because I forgot about it, I didn't pull him out of the lineup. So hopefully he's not injured. I'll just double check. Oh, Cardenas, career over. All right, Figueroa is just fatigued. Looks like he pitched. So yeah, we'll go do that trade. Bruzzo at 70%, I think it was. Yeah. Tony Jones. Thanks. I need more center fielders in my minor league system, and Figueroa. All right. Boom. Trade is completed. Thanks for the reminder, Brandon. And hopefully, I imagine you'll bring that guy up pretty quick. Hopefully he does good for you. All right. So I think that just about wraps it up. We should be getting to All-Star voting soon. I can actually open it up on Stats Plus anytime. I might as well open it up now. Officially, the game would have it starting on the May 23rd. And it is sort of an end of May thing. But you know what? I'll start the Stats Plus All-Star voting tonight. For those GMs that have just joined, and for Troy, who still hasn't signed into the Stats Plus, you have to sign in, and then I have to associate you to your team. So you won't be able to vote right away, but sign into our Stats Plus. It's statsplus.net/BBL if you don't have it from our Slack channels. But just type in Stats Plus in Slack, and it'll give you the link. And you'll be able to vote and enter your draft pool lists in Stats Plus, because the draft does take place in Stats Plus. It's timed. You get Slack reminders when it's your turn to pick. You can set it to pick from your list, or you can make a list and pick manually from your list, or however you want. It's a great utility, saves a lot of time, and we can get the draft over with long before draft day in the game. This is the advantage of doing it in Stats Plus, because if you wait till it comes up in the game, then everyone has to be ready with their draft list and has to export the draft list on draft day in the game. Otherwise, there's no draft. It doesn't. We have to wait. But if we do it offline using Stats Plus, then fantastic. Everyone can get their draft list in. We can complete the draft and export the entire draft results, plug it right into the game. So it's a seamless sim. We can sim the entire draft without waiting. All right, so that was the only trade. I think Scott was working on one with me, or he's offered one to me, but we haven't finalized that, so we're not going to have that one go today. I'll start creating league files, and no, it's not hard at all, actually, Jeff. And if you have any questions during it, we can walk you through it. Basically, the first 3 rounds, you get 12 hours anyway, and you'll see other people's picks coming up. The AI picks happen like that. And then if you have a draft list and you set it to list pick, your draft picks will go like that. It'll happen as soon as the system reads your list. Other than that, though, you get 12 hours if you want to manually pick. And it's real easy. Just go into Stats Plus, you pick your name, add it to your list, hit submit, and that's how it goes. It's super easy. And if you have any questions, I mean, Scott can help you out. I can help you out. A bunch of us have done Stats Plus drafts before. All right, 7 viewers still. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. Yeah, Brandon's done a few. Yeah, so any of us can pretty much help you. And that goes for the new GMs as well. Ben, Dustin, if you're around, if you haven't participated, and Jason Pulsifer, if you haven't participated in a Stats Plus draft, it's super easy. We'll take it slow and get you guys through it so you can pick your players. The toughest part will be picking your players, actually. And I think most people find the Stats Plus method of sorting players is pretty decent. The way you can filter and sort. the player list is actually a lot better. And you can pick if you want the OSA scout or your own scout. So, and you can pick to look at potential ratings or current ratings. It's a lot like the game version, but very web friendly. And it's actually, because Stats Plus is mobile friendly, you can do your stats list off your phone, really. All right, and whoops, upload. Congrats again, Jeff, for winning the Vladdy Guerrero Jr. card. Everybody should have a Vlad Guerrero Jr. card, I think. He's a popular guy. I've watched some of these other streamers, OOTP streamers, and even some people that do customized MLB The Show games, and everyone wants to have Vladdy on their team. Everyone hates the Blue Jays, but Vladdy's a hot commodity. So that's the big fear in Toronto. If you don't know, those of you that aren't from Toronto, obviously out of market, the big fear is after he hits his free agency eligibility, he'll be gone. He's not going to stick around in Toronto, it's a sad thing, but it's what happens to all the big stars in Toronto. Who's the Boston pitcher, David Price, same thing, gone. As soon as he was able, he fled the town. And that stupid manager they got there too in Boston. Oh, what the hell's his name? Anyway, it seems to happen to all our top players as far back as David Wells. As soon as Wells was a hot commodity, he left and went to wherever. Yeah, he'll be getting the big bucks. And it's not that Toronto's a small market. For some reason, we're corporate owned. Rogers is a huge media network, and they own the Blue Jays. They own the stadium that they play in. But yeah, we just don't like signing big $200 million contracts for multiple years. We don't get the Clayton Kershaw type contracts, the Mike Trout type contracts in Toronto. Believe me, I would love it if we signed a Mike Trout or I think Bellinger's name was bandied around once. Anyway, it would be great if we saw some of these guys in Toronto. But it's the same thing with the Leafs and hockey. We still fill the stadium even when the team sucks. So it's not like they need to fill the seats. There's no shortage of fans coming to the seats. Well, that's the only difference, though, right, Brandon? The Rays can't fill the seats. But yeah, we just for some reason we have a tough time getting the big guys. You guys still have that center fielder down in Tampa Bay, though. What's his name? Ugh. Fucking remind me. What's his name? The big hotshot Gold Glove guy. Anyway, he's yeah, that's it. Kiermaier. I like Kiermaier. Yeah, yeah. It's probably not how it's spelled, but I knew who you meant. Good old Kevin Kiermaier. Now, I liked Kevin Pillar. He's no Kevin Kiermaier, but he's a decent center fielder. My son actually, funny story, last spring training, so last year, we were waiting outside. Brandon, you've probably heard this story. We're waiting outside of the Philly Stadium, their spring training stadium. And a bunch of the Blue Jays left. The team bus left, but I knew there was a couple faces we hadn't seen. And out comes Kevin Pillar. My son was wearing a Pillar shirt, so we called him over. And he was reluctant, but then he saw my son turn around. He showed him he's wearing a Pillar shirt, so he came over, signed his hat, signed a ball. I think he signed the shirt. You signed the shirt? I think he signed the shirt. And so my son was absolutely thrilled. He's a huge Kevin Pillar fan. My daughter, on the other hand, not so much a Kevin Pillar fan. He was more of a Josh Donaldson fan. She asked Kevin Pillar if he was friends with Josh Donaldson and if he was sad that Donaldson left the team because he'd already been traded by that point. He was traded the year before. So it was kind of funny. Kevin wasn't really sure what to say. Yeah, I guess I'm friends with Josh Donaldson. It was a pretty funny conversation. I wish I had recorded it. But anyway, super nice guy. And then literally 2 weeks into the season, he's gone. Boom, traded to San Fran. But he did real good in San Fran. Anyway, the league file's up, it looks like. which means, Ben, as soon as you go into your game and go to Online League and download latest league file, you should find your name in the GM list. To get yourself to the GM list, go to the start screen, reload the game, and you'll be there. Ben, I don't even know if you're watching. I did text him that to info, but hopefully we get him in there, get him exporting, and do a test export soon after so we can see if it's exporting right. I think you guys get Slack updates when you export. Is that right? I know I do. But even if you don't, you can go to the export screen and check to make sure you're exporting. All right, so the emails have been sent out. Let's see, I did the trade, did the emails. I'm going to upload the stats to Stats Plus, and then I'm going to export the draft pool. So hopefully that goes well. And I'll post a message on Slack when we do the draft pool, when it's available in Stats Plus. This uploading the SQL files takes a good 5 or 10 minutes, so I'm not going to bore you with it. Change screens. We talk about something if you want, and keep the chat going if you want. Oh wait, put the intermission screen on. There we go. Intermission. You don't check. You check Stats Plus. I'm missing some of this conversation, aren't I? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Jeff, when you said he said no, I would, what were you talking about? And also, Jeff, do you have a stream going that we can raid? Ah, okay, cool. All right, so let me see who can we raid after this stream is done, because we're just about wrapped up. Of course, raids are optional. You don't have to join the raid, but it's always fun. Spores doing MLB The Show. Skeps doing Out of the Park Baseball 21, and he might be the best option. Yeah, he's the only person streaming OOTP 21 right now. Donaldson's a punk? Yeah, he's had some punk moments, I think. I think for sure he's had some punk moments. But anyway, I like the guy. I've got a Donaldson shirt. Should we do it now? All right. Yeah, fair enough. So you guys will catch the updates on Slack, and let's raid Skep, and yeah, give him some looks, give him some views, and say hi from the Bull League. All right, we're ready. We are ready to raid with the 6-hole viewers. At least check in and say hi. Thanks, guys. Oh, what do you mean raid's canceled? No, why is it canceled? Did I hit the wrong button? Skep. There we go. Let's try this again. Ready to raid. All right, I won't touch anything this time. Tap to raid now. There we go.